Dan Aburn here for Inside Lacrosse at LaBarge Stadium in Orange County, California. Just saw the Irish defeat Maryland 9-4. It was a pretty stout defensive contest for about 59 minutes, and then Notre Dame able to rally off 3 goals in that final minute as Maryland had to pull their goalie, be a little aggressive. Notre Dame was able to tee off. So a little bit of an inflated scoreline. Other than that, it was an absolutely great game and a great atmosphere. Almost 7,000 people coming out. Felt like every high school club and youth team in the greater LA area was here tonight. They got a great showcase in individual defense and goaltending. Both goalies, Shane Doss and Kyle Brunler, absolutely on fire. Some great individual defense and a ton of physical play. It was an absolutely great night. As for Maryland, they're 1-2. They got a quick turnaround. They faced Drexel on Tuesday. As for the Irish, they're undefeated. They got Denver on their slate next weekend. Big game.
Caroline Darney here in Charlottesville, Virginia, following an exciting 14-13 game where the Syracuse Orange defeated the Virginia Cavaliers. It was a back-and-forth affair in the first half, with Syracuse taking an 8-7 lead into halftime. It looked like it was going to be all orange in the second half, opening up a 13-8 lead in the fourth quarter. But Virginia stormed back, coming to within 1 on 2 separate occasions, were unable to win the final face-off with just 33 seconds left in the game, and Syracuse was able to run out the clock. Ben Williams was fantastic at face-off X again for Syracuse today, winning 18 of 29. They had a balanced attack. Tim Barber, 3 goals, 2 assists. DeJoe with 3 goals. Mariano with 3 goals. Dylan Donahue, 2 goals, 3 assists. They had 9 assists on their 14 total goals. Just really all-around great performance on attack. Defensively, Syracuse's goalie, Warren Hill, was fantastic with a career-high 13 saves. And for Virginia, James Pennell, 4 goals, Greg Caholen and AJ Fish each added 2. That puts Syracuse 1-0 in the ACC, Virginia 0-1, and this is the first victory for the Orange in Charlottesville since 2004 when Mikey Powell played for the Orange.
Hi, this is Peter Katrumpis reporting for Inside Lacrosse at Fetzer Field following an exciting 13-12 overtime finish between the Denver Pioneers and North Carolina Tar Heels here on a sunny but cool Saturday afternoon. Tar Heels established the lead early and led 6-4 at halftime before the Pioneers put together a 7-2 run to lead 11-8 into the fourth quarter. It wasn't until a 4-goal run initiated by Michael Tagliaferri that got the Tar Heels back in contention and also leading with 1:06 to play. However, Zach Miller's 4th goal of the game high for the Pioneers, tied it up with 9 seconds before Connor Cannizzaro, who also scored a hat trick, scored the final tally to put the Pioneers on top for good. A great game altogether, as a great face-off work by Trevor Baptiste from the Pioneers, winning 21-28, established a ground game dominantly for the Pioneers. However, the Tar Heels managed to work their offense on a much more patient basis, looking for the right shot rather than the first shot. It was a continuing progress for the Tar Heels offense this season. As Joe Bresci pointed out, he was happy with what he saw his team finish with. Although they didn't get the win, he was proud that they were in contention to get the win throughout. From Chapel Hill, North Carolina, this is Peter Katrumpis reporting for Inside Lacrosse.
Welcome back to the Epoch ILGameday Recap. I am Terry Foy, joined by Matt Kinnear, and we are in the IL studios talking about an unbelievable day on Long Island, pair of upsets at Hofstra University. Leading off, the Georgetown Hoyas, 11-6 victors over the Pride, knocking them from the perch of undefeateds, where the Hoyas escape with their first victory of the season. Matt, what did you take away from this game?
Well, coming into this game, Georgetown was the best 0-3 team in the country, the best 0-3 team we've seen in a long time. They came in hungry. That loss against Mount St. Mary's really kind of lit a fire under them. You could see from this game they were hustling, they were playing physical. The biggest takeaway from this game, though, is the Hofstra offense of Sam Linares and Josh Byrne, 2 phenomenal players. Georgetown really showed that you can shut those guys down. Byrne had 2 goals, Linares was held scoreless, but you have to credit Charlie Ford and Michael Mayer of Georgetown. When teams have 2 really good shutdown defensemen against Hofstra, is Hofstra really going to have enough depth offensively to kind of light up the scoreboard, with just relying on those 2 guys? So really great showing from Georgetown there. And Dan Baccaro, the freshman phenom, 3 goals and an assist. Really, really key hustle play at the end of the game where he ran across his own midline to chase down another team's attackman. So just a great performance, a great hustle, a great heart from Georgetown today, and they got the first win, knocking off Hofstra.
A top 20 win for the boys from DC. And in the nightcap, Harvard knocking off Duke 14-9. This is a Blue Devil team that came in ranked 4th in the country, and a Harvard team that came in with 3 consecutive overtime wins. Matt, it's always been my opinion that I'd rather be late to christen Harvard as being a top-tier team than early, given what we've seen historically from this program. I think those that now aren't ready, are still not ready to give that crown, give that title to Harvard, are going to end up being late. Was there anything that you took away from this one?
With Harvard, it's they've been the cardiac crimson for these first 3 games. 3 games that were all overtime wins. Today they just dominated in every facet of the game. Joe Lang had a really, really great dodge at the end of the game against a short stick. Just showed his speed and ability to get to the net. Devin Dwyer, really excellent feeding and goal scoring. It seems like the offense has kind of figured out its identity. Seasoning in a new coordinator. Took a few games, I feel like, there, but it seems like they have their identity on offense and really took it to Duke in this game. And
certainly at the other end of the field, really impressive showing out of the Crimson defense as they held the Blue Devils scoreless for over a 30-minute stretch between the second, third, and into the fourth quarters, as well as limiting Miles Jones to just 1 assist.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff Shannon with Inside Lacrosse here at Homewood Field. Today I called Johns Hopkins' 17-7 win over Princeton. It was a big day for Hopkins offensively. Wilkins Dismuke put up 4 goals, Holden Tony had 3, Shaq Stanwyck had 2 goals and 3 assists, and Colin Marr scored 2 goals. Of note, Ryan Brown went scoreless in the game, the first time he had not been able to score a goal since his freshman year against Loyola. The ground balls were a big stat today. Hopkins put up 32 ground balls over Princeton's 14. Faceoffs were also big. Hunter Moreland came back and played a complete game. And the Blue Jays finished 22 of 30 at the faceoff X. Hopkins also went 16 of 16 in clears and 5 of 6 in EMO opportunities. The Blue Jays return to Homewood Field next week to host Towson.
That'll about do it for the Epoch IL Game Day recap. But before we go, an impressive weekend out of the Ivy League. One game we want to make sure to mention, the Penn Quakers, 11-7 victors over the Penn State Nittany Lions. The Coach Jeff Tambroni's team came in as a top 20 program, and I was impressed by the offensive performance that Penn put in the first half. It seemed like every time you looked up, even though they had only won 3 of 10 faceoffs in the first half, the Quakers had the ball, and it really limited what Penn State was able to do. Matt, anything stand out for you this weekend?
Yeah, keeping it in-state, but going over to Patriot League play. Navy beat Bucknell 13-6 and held Bucknell scoreless for nearly 30 minutes of gameplay, which is really impressive. We know Navy's defense is good. Can their offense kind of follow the lead of the defense? Jack Ray getting 4 goals is a good sign for that. That'll wrap it up for the Epic IL Game Day show. Make sure to follow all season and gear up with the brand new sequel Head, the Gen 6 Dragonfly Shaft, and Ultralight Otter Mesh.